this one, I believe, needs to go up. And then that should be working. We should be audioed up. Let me double check. This one, I believe, needs to go up. There we go. We are audioed up. That feedback was my own feedback. Let me move this microphone slightly away from me here. But we are live. We are in, and Villa have got 6 points in 4 days. Did anyone see that coming? Not me. Not me. Everyone getting their super chats, though. Not super chats, because I don't have those, but you know what I mean. The normal chats. As Villa get the 6 points in 2 days. Everyone wrote us off, including myself. But now, all of a sudden, things look all right again. How have we managed that then? I don't know. It's the simple answer. I have no idea. But the audio issue's hopefully fixed. We can look a little bit more into what actually happened this week, because it was a pretty goddamn good week. You can see on the screen we've got the Brentford lineup on the screen, not the Southampton one. We'll go over that very, very shortly. Just the Brentford one. But I'll wait for a couple more of you guys to get in. And then once we have a few more people here, we can get into the conversation. We're obviously going to be talking all things Aston Villa and obviously what's been happening. 6 points, 4 days. Have a look at the teams. Have a look at how players are performing. Have a look at a plethora of different reasons why perhaps these 6 points have been set up, or not set up, but we got the 6 points, that is, and then hopefully have a little bit of an optimistic look into the future and our future fixtures as well. So first things first, obviously on the screen you can see the team against Brentford. That was a 3-1 victory. That was probably our best victory that we've got in the Premier League in a little while. Very, very good in the first half. The second half was a little bit shaky, but again, on the balance of play, we probably should have been the team outscoring the other team in that second half. Yes, technically, that second half could go down as a 1-0 Brentford if you're going on 45-minute aggregates, but I think we actually created more chances in that game. And that sort of 10-minute flow where Rodgers obviously scored his worldie goal, Ollie Watkins scored his penalty just about. Honestly, we need to find a better penalty taker, because our penalty takers are just in the mud all of the time. And then I want to say a special shout out to Matty Cash, because I've always backed him. I've always said he's probably the best right back in the league. He's the joint Polish top scorer in the Premier League now with 7 goals. I just can't think of a wing back better than him, and he got his goal, and because of that we were 3-0 up. And again, Matty Cash, probably the best winger, or wing back rather, in the league, so obviously very happy with that. Now, if we want to have a little chat about a player perhaps that influenced that Brentford game the absolute most, I think I'd have to single out that man right there, Boubacar Kamara. He was the driving force throughout that game until he got subbed off. His little turn that he done to take out 2 players before playing it forward to Watkins, or was it Rodgers he played forward? I think it was Rodgers for the first goal. I mean, he took about 2 players out of the game with his turn, and then another 3 with that good, quick forward ball into Rodgers. Honestly, having Kamara back changes the game for Villa. I think it changes the game 100%, because he does something that Tielemans and Onana both can't do, and he's so silky and he's so good. He's so good, and having him back is just an absolute delight. Echo banger, good day to you as well. So, and it is a good day, isn't it? Because we've just got another 3 points. We're up to 5th in the Premier League. Hope you're having a good weekend. You know what? Everyone in the house is ill, and I am working this weekend. Not at the moment, obviously that'll be weird, but in general I am working this weekend. But Villa have got 3 more points. I'm still here. We're signing up for a marathon tomorrow, so I guess we are having a good weekend. How is your weekend as well? And everyone watching, how is your weekend going? And your week in general? Storm Dara has hit the coasts, and I hope you're all having nice hearty meals. Is that what they're called? Hearty? It's like stew and stuff. I don't even know. Have your dumplings and be happy, because Villa are back to their best. Well, not really. We'll go over that when we cover the Southampton game. but we're back to winning games, which I suppose half the battle in the Premier League. Moving forward, Bailey, probably, I know he's got injured in the Southampton game, hopefully it's not too serious, but Bailey looking slightly back to his better form now, willing to take players on, looked a bit quicker and sharper than I have seen him this season, so quite happy with him in this game. I don't see any reason for him now to drop off the pace. Hopefully this injury isn't very serious and he can just push on. Like I say, got some mad feedback there. Tielemans, again, not the best game in the world that I've seen him have, but I've seen him have worse. And again, he looks tired, but hopefully he can get back to how he was back in the day. John McGinn, much better. Brentford, John McGinn, how we played against Brentford is how we expect John McGinn to be playing, and driving us forward, instrumental as well in one of the goals, which was the third goal, I believe it was. He drove forward, progressed us 45, 50, 60 yards up the pitch in a matter of seconds. Really, really glad to see him back to performing at a level that we know he can perform at, right? And then Rodgers and Watkins up front. I mean, Rodgers, you're just so happy for him when that goal went in, weren't you? I think every Villa fan was extremely happy when that goal went in for Rodgers. A lovely curling effort. Goalkeeper, how many chances did he have? Say it with me. Not 3 chances, not 2 chances, not 1 chance. He had a big, fat 0 chance to save that shot. A beautiful goal. Beautiful, beautiful goal. And then Watkins as well got his goal. Penalty, obviously a bit dodgy. I think he knew it was a bit dodgy as well, if you wanted to garner that by his celebration. But a 3-1 victory. The goal was disappointing to concede. Again, I think it's been a little bit of a complaint of mine for a little while with Aston Villa, that we're a little bit soft. We go down under pressure and we want a foul, and the whole team just stops playing, and that's kind of what happened when McGinn got fouled. But again, we kept a clean sheet against Southampton, so silver linings, I guess. Duncan, welcome to the chat, my friend. Evening all. Formation tweak and no more square pegs in round holes certainly helping. Watkins is poor. Rodgers, goal of the month rather, contender versus Brentford. I'll completely agree. Goal of the month contender. Very, very good goal. I love a finesse goal. Do you know what I mean? You just love a finesse goal. They look so good, don't they? Watkins, I have to agree, is going for a little bit of a rough patch at the moment, and Duran's goal today will not help him any means whatsoever. But we will get on to Watkins as well. He's in a bit of a rot, to be fair. But Rodgers, again, looks a little bit better, a little bit sharper, and that's what we like to see from Rodgers, don't we? Do you know what I mean? We know how good he can be. He's been off of it the last few weeks, but hopefully he's back to his best. Echo Banga. Kamara is what gives us stability in the heartbeat of the team, shielding the back line and getting us forward. It's so good having him fire on. Absolutely. I'm laughing because I've seen what Billy has put in the chat, and I will be getting on to you mug. But no, seriously, Kamara is scarily good. It was his 50th Premier League game today against Southampton. The same amount of Premier League games as John Duran, which is really weird to think about, because you think of Kamara as being a solidified player in this team, and John Duran this young up-and-comer, right? But that injury that took him out for so long, he really hasn't played that much for Villa in terms of Premier League games, and I'm so glad to have him back, and I genuinely think of him and Onana partnership in the midfield, that could be very, very scary and could win us a lot of games and get us a lot of points. Are you going out hunting with that jacket? You know what I'm hunting for, Billy? I'm hunting for running PBs. Whilst you sit and eat your Monster Munch and bang out your 20-minute 5Ks now, you wait until we're in Warsaw next year doing that marathon, sunshine. I am hunting PBs and I'm hunting beating you. And that's all I've got to say about that. I'm also not running this weekend because there's a storm, and I've done all my runs for this week. Yeah, hopefully Duran gets more starts. Watkins fighting his way back since he's good at link-up. Watkins, but not finishing his plate enough. Yeah, I think Watkins, it's always been an issue for Watkins, hasn't it, is finishing. I've said it, that even, don't get me wrong, he was one of our best players last season, right? If not our best player last season. What was it, 17, 18, 19 goals in the Premier League, 12 assists. But you look at his big chances missed, he's always at the top. His finishing just isn't good enough. He came through as a winger. He's obviously been shoehorned into the striker role. I think it was by Dean Smith, actually. At Brentford, he started to play up front a little bit more, and yeah, we all know his finishing is not of that of an elite striker. John Duran, definitely a better finisher already, and I know that John Duran's goal record isn't fantastic. Again, you have to look at the amount of play time that he actually gets at Aston Villa, but Duran is a better finisher than Watkins. There's no doubt in my mind about that, but he just needs to work on the rest of his game, right? But Watkins, for me, he's so important to how we play, and it's really, really frustrating that we can't figure out a way to have him and Duran in the team at the same time. And I do have to agree with Emery when he says that they don't actually work together very well. But Watkins, I think, overall, his play is so much more important to Villa. I think if we could get Rodgers and Bailey and perhaps a number 10 who scores goals consistently, then I think you can kind of almost look past Watkins' lack of finishing ability, and the others would pick up the slack for him. But I don't know how you fit that in. And that's why Aston Villa aren't paying me like 40 grand a week to be the manager. Let's just put it that way. But that is the Brentford game. Let's buy Wood from Forest. Well, I don't know if you're joking or not, but I just can't see us signing a 30 whatever old he is, Chris Wood, at the moment. I tell you who I would want from Nottingham Forest though. Is my chat not coming through on here? Let me make sure that's coming through. I'll tell you who I would want from Forest, and that's Anthony Elanga. I think that boy is very, very good indeed. Very, very good. But then again, we move on to Southampton, and the changes were probably not what you'd expect. Definitely not what I expected. Duran came in for Watkins. Maatsen came in there. Oh, Mings as well. I completely forgot to talk about Mings. In terms of the Brentford game, what a difference it has having a physically strong leader in your back line. Do you know what I mean? What a difference. Outstanding performance. Really glad to see him back. And then Carlos came back in against Southampton. Konsa moved out to right back, and this is something that I think we're going to see deployed from Emery at the moment. Just quickly, Duncan Kilburn and Bueno for me in January. If we sign Brian and Bueno, I would be so happy. Him and Visser are probably one of the most underrated attacking partnerships in the Premier League. I think they're both brilliant, and I would love Brian and Bueno at Aston Villa. And he's only like 25. I don't know how a big club hasn't come in from yet, and I understand Brentford are doing very, very well in the league, but you know what I mean. A Champions League club, right, hasn't come in from Bueno. But I think we're going to see this deployed a lot by Emery this season, right? Against Brentford, our main attacking threat from the back, yes, Luca Digne did get forward, but Cash was also getting forward quite a lot as well. When we play Maatsen, we almost deploy Maatsen as, well, effectively a winger, right? He doesn't play left back. He pretty much plays on the wing. And because of that, I think we play Konsa right back to add that extra defensive cover, because we know that Maatsen's defensive responsibilities are going to be pretty much null and void for large portions of the game. What do you think about Dewsbury Hall? I don't think we need him in midfield depth. It's quite strange news we have interest in him. I would be quite disappointed. If we got Dewsbury Hall in, because I'll just see it as a waste of money. I don't think we need midfielders. I think when Onana's back fit, we'll have Onana, Kamara, Tielemans, Ross Barkley, McGinn can play in there if we really needed him to. The last thing we need, right? Rodgers left wing and Bueno right wing, McGinn or Buendia in number 10 and Duran at striker. Yeah, that could work. You know what? I always wonder, and I think maybe his passing ability, I think he did get 12 assists. Would Watkins work behind Duran? I know he's a striker and that, but be interesting. But Bueno would be amazing. Yeah, we're stacked in midfield, I have to agree. But yeah, sorry. So I think when Maatsen plays, we're going to see Konsa deployed at right back quite a lot, purely because it just works, doesn't it? And I think Rodgers actually started on the left. We seem to be doing this quite a lot with McGinn starting up front and then Rodgers on the left-hand side. Really quite weird. I don't see the logic in it personally, because McGinn is, but then again, McGinn's done alright. I don't know, he's our captain, so sometimes you have to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not too sure. I am not too sure on that one, for me personally anyway. But that's how we lined up against Southampton. Duran got a typical Duran goal. Watkins never number 10. He's never really played there for us or Brentford. Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to shoehorn him in, to be honest, because he's so important to the way that we play and the way that Emery plays. That was literally just a shoehorning exercise there. I'm not even going to lie to you. It was an idea. I wouldn't play him out on the wing because I don't think he's good enough on the ball to play out on the wing in the Premier League. I don't know. Just an idea, guys. Just an idea. But yeah, sorry. Against Southampton, that's how we lined up. Couple of strange changes in there. You wouldn't have expected Watkins to be the one that got dropped, but again, Emery's been very vocal about how he doesn't think that Watkins and Duran can work together up front, so perhaps that's why Rodgers is in there. Rodgers, he must be so shattered, man. And I know he's a professional athlete, he's a professional footballer, he should be able to deal with this demand and this workload, but you just worry about him burning out, picking up a stupid hamstring injury or something like that, and then he's out for 4 weeks, and we could fall off without him, right? And he's playing 90 minutes, that's the thing. Most games that Rodgers is starting, he's playing the full 90. We had a massive game in midweek against Leipzig coming up. That's going to be huge, but you never know. I'd still like to transition to a 3-4-3/3-4-1-2 and ditch the traditional fullback roles. Emery will have a future tactics/transfer plan. Yet we know that Emery works very, very closely with Monchi and their scouting team. I do think that he might just be so stuck in his 4-4-2 ways that we might not see that. And I mean, Ruben Almiron was meant to come into Manchester United and revolutionise them with his 3 at the back formation, and so far they've drawn to Leicester, got a couple of wins, I think, one in Europe, one in the Premier League, and then just lost to Nottingham Forest. So maybe it's not the be-all and end-all. You never know, right? You never know. But I think, yeah, again, we've gone through it a couple of times, but 3 at the back could work. We definitely didn't play, do I say well or as well? I think I'll probably say well against Southampton. I've seen parts of the Southampton game. Obviously, it was a 3 o'clock kickoff, and Sky Sports and the Premier League have this like monopoly over 3 o'clocks not being allowed to show it on TV. How well is 3-4-3 working for Chelsea? Yeah, but I mean, you look at their squad and their personnel. I'm not surprised they're doing a 3-4-3 just to try and fit players in. But it is working really, really well for them. I do enjoy watching Chelsea this season, which it pains me to say because I bloody hate Chelsea for some reason. Southampton, I don't think we played particularly well from what I've seen, the highlights I've seen, the bits that I did manage to watch. From what I've seen, the reaction generally on Twitter, in and amongst journalists and fans alike, is that we probably should have played better. We gave the ball away a lot. Now, again, you're playing in a storm, so perhaps that impacts it somewhat in terms of the way the ball travels, the way it holds up, the conditions in general, the surface, etc. But again, if you're going to have a bad game against Southampton, because they're even worse. So you're going to get the 3 points. Do you know what I mean? And ultimately, we've got 6 points now in the 4 days that we've been here, and that puts us back up to 5th. We're 1 point behind City or 2 points behind City. So despite our poor run of form, things are looking up. Good to take that confidence into the Leipzig game as well, because Leipzig are going to be no walk in the park. We already know they're a good team. We've played them in pre-season. Let's go to the chat quickly. Echo Banger in defence out of possession, this 4-4-2 is fine. That's what every tactic ends up defending in a 4-4-2 and a 5-4-1. However, we thrive bombing Maatsen and Digne and overloading the left wing. Yeah, a lot of our attack comes down the left wing this season. I'd be interested to see a statistic of what percentage of our attacks go down the left, because I think it'd be pretty goddamn high. Duran has won us 7 or 8 matches this season. No substitute for a proper striker. Goals win matches. Absolutely. And I think my bold prediction, if he carries up his form that he is, he will be starting every single game by the end of the season, because the points that he's winning us are invaluable, right? He's won us 9 points at the start of the season. He's just won us his 12 points there. That game he's got his goal. He's won us points in the Champions League, obviously against Bayern Munich. He got us through one of the rounds of the Carabao Cup before we got knocked out stupidly against Palace. I mean, 20 years old, the geezer's insane, and I think he has potential to be a real goal machine, doesn't he? A real goal machine. But now we look forward. Look, those 2 games, Brentford, I thought we were back to the Villa of old, the Villa that we know. We still couldn't keep a clean sheet in that game, slightly disappointing. We now kept one against Southampton. You would expect us to keep one against Southampton. Didn't play particularly well against Southampton. Again, does it matter when you're getting 3 points at this juncture of the season, when you have these massive, congested, Christmas period? Probably not. I would suggest that we can probably get away with it at the moment if we want to just scrap our way through a couple of games. We have to improve. We're going to have to improve in Germany on Tuesday. The players are going to be tired, but they're going to have to just step up. Mings might be vital against teams who thrive with set pieces. When we play Forest, Mings should start over Powell next week, I hope. Great point. I would start Mings because Chris Wood will absolutely dominate Pau Torres physically, and we're going to have a defender that the ball is attracted to his head like I don't even know. What is it? Like a magnet to Tyrone Mings' head, right? Talking of strikers, hope Antonio is okay. Yeah, that is absolutely mental. I've heard he only has a broken leg. Obviously not good for him. That's going to be well, maybe at his age. You never know how bad it was. Definitely a season ender, but it just makes you think life is very precious, so make the most of it, make the most of it. But yeah, we're going to have to step up against RB Leipzig. Mings must start versus Forest. That's a match for 3 at the back. Yeah, Elanga is going to be killing us that game. He is having a really, really good season. Obviously, Chris Wood, Morgan Gibbs-White, an absolute danger man. That's going to be a real good game. Is that on TV? Does anyone know when that is? That kickoff and stuff? I don't actually know when that game is. Shall we have a little look on my laptop here? I think I can have a look if I quickly knock down here. Let's go Aston Villa fixtures. Leipzig match on Amazon Prime. Yes, I know it is. Luckily, I'm on an early that day as well. So hopefully finish up work, come home, and then go for a run, maybe, and then watch that game. Yeah, so 5:30 on Saturday. I'm actually with my friends having a final send-off before I move houses. So guess what's going to be on the TV? Lovely for me. That Nottingham Forest game is going to be a really, really good game. But yeah, Leipzig is on Amazon Prime. I don't know, most people have Amazon Prime nowadays, right? So get on that, get watching that. That should be a very, very good game. That's going to be a real interesting game because Leipzig were really good in pre-season. They're doing well in the Bundesliga, but not doing particularly well in the Champions League. I feel like if we can manage to get 3 points against Leipzig, we really could be on for a top 8 finish in the Champions League because the rest of our games, Monaco started well, falling off, and then Celtic, both winnable, right? Both winnable. This Leipzig game is our real big game now that we need to dunk all of our eggs in. But then again, you've got to balance it with the fact that we have Forest on Saturday. Tough, eh? The Premier League and the Champions League, playing in both hard, right, guys? Are we finding that out this season yet? Have we figured that one out? I don't know. I think we might have. I really do think we might have. But yeah, look, happy with this week overall. The game against Southampton, not ideal, but we got the 3 points. The Brentford game, really, really good performance. Those 10 minutes, I thought we were absolutely brilliant, electric. Still the issues with the formation, I think. Still the issues of being a bit flat in front of goal. That will come with time. But what lineup would you like to see against Leipzig? Who dropped from the start? Tielemans, another start, or Barkley, etc.? Whilst we're here, because I doubt I will get a chance to do a preview for the Leipzig game, I will take you through what I would do against Leipzig, right? Martinez obviously starts in goal. I don't think you start Konsa at right back, so that means that Maatsen, by the very nature of it, can't start at left back. So we go for Digne. That experience down the right-hand side is absolutely fine. Now, German teams, or the Champions League, it's never as physical as the Premier League, right? I would save Mings for that Nottingham Forest game. So I think Pau Torres for me gets the nod. Again, we're going to be looking to be a bit more technical probably against Leipzig. Their main striker's a Pender, I think, who's more of a pacey striker than a physical one. So I think you start Pau. Obviously, he does not start, bloody hell. Konsa starts, and I think Cash comes back in at right back, and he offers our attacking threat from the back. Moving on to the midfield four. I think he has to start Philogene, that's it. I think he has to start. Bailey's injured. I don't think you move McGinn over to the right-hand side just yet. I think you go for Philogene. We know he's got the ability. I think the Champions League is probably a better thing for him to do in terms of starting, because it's a bit less well, it's a bit slower, isn't it, really, than the Premier League. Now, here's the big call in midfield, right? Kamara and Tielemans. Onana was back on the bench today. They've both played a lot of games. Kamara just coming back from injury, playing a lot of games. I'd probably take a risk against Leipzig. I'll probably take a little bit of a risk against Leipzig and keep probably Kamara in there and maybe go for a Barkley with the option of Tielemans and Onana off the bench. In an ideal world, if it was up to me and they were all fit, I'd try that, a Kamara-Onana partnership in midfield. I would probably put McGinn out on the left-hand side of the attack with Rodgers. Again, I know, does he deserve a rest? Probably. I'll probably sub him off after 60, but I'd probably go for that. That would probably be my lineup against Leipzig. I think Onana has to come back in, right? Let's have a little look here, what people are saying. Forest are above us in the league. They're only one Midlands team. Actually, great to see Forest growing up with Clough as I did. Yeah, you know what? I like Nottingham Forest. Fair play to them. I like them. I've got nothing against them. I think they play good football as well. Torres, Cash in the Champions League. Mings, Konsa in the Prem. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've gone for, isn't it, to be fair? I'll probably go for something like that. The only thing I'd probably change, maybe, if Kamara isn't fit enough to start this amount of games in a row, perhaps you bring in Tielemans or Barkley into that midfield role. But that'll be my team against Leipzig, I think. I don't know how they're doing in their league. Let's have a little look here. They just won 2-0 today in the Bundesliga. They're currently 4th in the Bundesliga. I don't know how they're doing in the Champions League. Let me see if I can bring that up for you. I don't know if that's going to work in terms of showing you where they are. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me just move this over. So if I do that, there you go. There's their standings. So that's how they're doing this season so far. As you can see, 7 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. Goal difference of 7. They're on a little bit of a dodgy run of form. So they've won their last game, but they've actually lost 3 and drawn 1 before that. So, perhaps not the best. Let's have a look at how they're doing in the Champions League here. So there we are. The boys, right? Joint 8th with Monaco, Sporting, Brest. I might even have to say that on YouTube. Lille, Arsenal and Leverkusen all on the 10 points. Our form's slightly falling off there. But then we go down... Where even are they? So, that's Salzburg. Oh, bloody hell. Jeez. I was like, well, there's Salzburg. So Leipzig are probably a little bit above them. Leipzig are actually 34th out of 36 in the Champions League. They have lost all 5 of their games with a goal difference of -6. What on earth has happened to them? I mean, can we see their games? Can I see their results here? Like matches. What has gone on with them? Let's have a little look here. So in the Champions League, they've lost to Inter 1-0, Celtic 3-1. Who else have they played? Liverpool 1-0, Juventus beat them 3-2. And then Atletico Madrid. To be fair, Jesus Christ, they had a bad draw, didn't they? Lordy Lord, that is a bad draw. But yeah, hey, they've lost all 5. They even lost to Celtic, really? We can't be complacent. Oh, absolutely not. Like, RB Leipzig are a good team. A really, really good team. Let's have a look at... who have they got at the moment? So they've got Xavi Simons, who's a very, very good player. Sesko, very sought after. Lewis Openda, very, very sought after. They've got Geertruida, which... That one's going to sting, right? Let's not give them the win. Absolutely not. Come on. They've lost 5 in a row. Let's make it 6. Geertruida is going to hurt because we were after him and for some reason we didn't sign him, even though the price was just ridiculously low. They've got Poulsen as well. Golaski in goal. Lekeba at centre-back, a player that we have actually been linked with, possibly in the January transfer window. Openda is very, very good. I don't know what his stats are this season. 5 goals, 3 assists in 13 games. Pretty good. Not the best, to be fair. Not the best in the world. You would have thought he was actually probably doing a little bit better than that. They've got Sesko as well, though, who was very We were linked to Openda 2 seasons ago. Yeah, very, very good player. Sesko's another one to look out for. 4 goals, 2 assists. It looks like, dare I say, Leipzig are slightly underperforming this season, because they should be doing better than they are, really, surely. Do you know what I mean? Who scored for them today? Let's have a look at this game. Sesko and Andre Silva. Oh, who did Andre Silva used to play for? He used to play for someone. I can't think of who he used to play for now. But, you know, again, we can't be complacent. That's going to be an absolutely huge game. Let's have a look at Champions League match day. What are we now? 6 or 7? Is this 7? But we've still got 3 games left. Is it 6? It is. No, that's the Women's Champions League. Champions League fixtures. So we know who that we're drawing with, right? In terms of points. Is it match day 7? No, it is match day 6. God, I'm not going crazy. That's good to know. So let's look at teams that are around us, right? So Brest have PSV. Tough game. I don't even know who Brest are, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, I know they're from the McDonald's, Uber Eats, French Farmers League, but I don't even know how they got into the Champions League and how they're that good. But they're a team that we are joint on points with. So one to look out for that game. Sporting, another team. I think Inter and Leverkusen are both on 10 points maybe as well. So definitely a team's going to drop points around us. Atalanta have 11 points. So 1 point above us. They play Real Madrid. So again, another game to look out for there. Lille are playing Sturm Graz. So you'd expect Lille to pick up 3 points there. So perhaps we can't gain any ground on them. Who else was joint with us? Arsenal play Monaco. Again, so I'm pretty sure that's at least 2 teams that are joint on points of us, right, that are playing each other. So one of those teams is guaranteed to drop points, right? So if we get a win, we're automatically above at least one team. I want to say that Inter and Leverkusen. Oh no, Inter are a little bit above everyone. But Atlanta are playing a game you'd probably expect them to lose, right? Sporting playing Bruges. Lille and Brest. Bayern are sneaking up the rear now as well, even though we beat them. Man City are down there. It's a tough one. If we can get 4 points out of 9, we should be top 8. I don't know. It's so... Honestly, the Champions League is so much better with this new format. So much better with this new format. Karabag FC have a player in the top goal scorers. Are they even in this? They're not even in this. That's weird. How is he? What are they playing in? Alright, that's weird. Yeah, it's so tight. It is really tight. And let me tell you, this Champions League format, way better. Much prefer this. Yeah, Duncan, I'm completely with you. This new Champions League format is legit. It's legit. It's really bloody good. Really bloody good. Let me have a look at the stats here. Because it's saying that he... Right, this must be... That ain't right. That ain't right. I mean, I know we ain't going to have anyone in here because we barely score in the Champions League. We barely score. Red cards. Angel Gomez. Yeah, he's getting into the England team over Morgan Rogers. Lee Carsley. Yeah, good job you're on here. The old Champions League was just farming for yearly. Yeah, it was. I like this new Champions League. And hey, you know, this new format, it's not even like it's the same teams at the top, right? Yes, it is to an extent. Liverpool, Inter, Barca, but Atlanta are up there. Leverkusen, Monaco, we're up there. You know, in a league format, would we have? Lewandowski's 60 years old now. Yeah, well, he's going to get 60 goals this season, probably, mate. He is absolutely banging it. Brest, I'm really interested in where they're 11th in Ligue 1. Are they just doing like really well in the Champions League somehow? And just had a great season last year. I couldn't even tell you what Favre I've heard of in the past. Bradley Loco. Who are they? Who are Stade Brestois 29? Founded in 1950. So they're quite a new club, actually. How random. Makes you think. Makes you think. But yeah, there we go, guys. Good week for Villa. Now we move on to the Champions League. A win, theoretically, given the other teams around us and who they're playing, should put us back into the top 8 on 13 points. We could even hop the likes of Dortmund and Atalanta as well if we manage to get it. But thank you guys for tuning in and joining. Sorry it's a little bit late and I didn't do one after the Brentford game. Like I say, there's been an illness going around, right? It's the man flu, work, etc, etc. But hopefully that is all good now and we're back. I've got a video that I'm going to be trying to film at some point over the next few days because our January transfer plans have been effectively revealed in regards to what positions we're going for. So a nice longer form video for you guys on that one. I've got another one hopefully coming out on Alex Baea very, very soon as well, and then back to regularly scheduled live streams, which I really, really do enjoy with you guys. Echo Banger, Duncan Kilburn, shout out to you guys. Absolutely amazing every single stream. Have a good day, everyone, and I will see you after the Leipzig game where we hopefully are back in to automatic qualification points in the Champions League.